We wanted to really, grow the industry and really be able to give the hunter a gun that was very, very accurate and very reliable, and also that was lighter weight. We started off building a few a month, and now we're building thousands per month.
We took Christensen Arms from being just this kind of obscure Western brand that had really expensive rifles that a few people could afford, to something that had all of its own technology with receivers and stocks. We really grew it into something special.
Hey everybody, welcome to Brand Live 2021 with Christensen Arms. We're grateful that our customers would have a chance to take some time out of their day to join us today. We're hoping for a great event. This is the first of a few. As long as we get positive feedback and feel like it's a worthwhile, we're going to make this a kind of an ongoing project. It allows us a vehicle that we've never had before, really, to keep our dealers and our customers informed on what's going on in Christensen Arms. My name is Jeff Bradley. I've been with the company for a few years now, and I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of positions that allow me to interact with dealers and customers. That's the part of my job that I really love. So hopefully it works out good for everybody concerned. One of the things we're going to try and do today is to inform you to a greater degree about some of the things that happened in 2020. A little bit of a year in review, if you're okay with that. We're going to talk about the most popular calibers. When dealers and customers place orders for our firearms, we track that by caliber, and we've got some interesting numbers there. We're going to talk about a few of the very best firearms as far as our 2020 lineup went, and how they did and some of the things that made those firearms popular. And then we're going to talk a little bit, and I emphasize a little bit, as to what we may see in the future from Christensen Arms. Just like any relevant firearms company in the industry, we're always trying to think and innovate what we can do to have something new and exciting for our customers. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got Richard Shoemaker with us. Welcome, Richard. Tom, we're glad to have you. Paul, Stephen. The other thing that we're going to do at the end of all this, as those customers and viewers come on, we're going to take questions and answers from those of you that are participating. If you've uploaded a question to us, obviously we can't get to all of them, but we're certainly going to try to get the most popular and the ones that would appeal to the most people listening to the broadcast, and we're going to address those for you. So hopefully that'll be informative as well. So don't be bashful. You'll be able to ask questions. You can even ask a question of us for a few hours after the broadcast ends. So the other thing we're going to do is below me here, I believe in Brand Live, there will be a quiz. You're welcome to take that quiz and just check your knowledge. Hopefully you'll all do better than I did. I hope I can get 100%. I'm going to take it later. So with that, to start the broadcast off, we'd like to discuss with you briefly the most popular calibers as they were sold at Christensen Arms. And there's been quite a shakeup. There's some fast movers, and we could kind of see that happening through the year. 6.5 Creedmoor remains number one. 2 years ago, if you look at that graphic, 6.5 Creedmoor represented 39% of both bolt guns and ARs sold by Christensen Arms. That fell 12% to 27% last year, 2019. And then in this year, Creedmoor continued to lose a little bit of the market at now 19. It's still our most popular, but it's not our most popular by much. And if you were a racehorse, a guy betting on racehorses, you'd want to have some money on the new PRC calibers. The 6.5 PRC grew tremendously from 4 to 15% from 18 to 19. And then it gained another 3% from 19 to 20. It sits at about 18% of what we make. 300 Win Mag. What do you say about the old prototypical perfect North American big game caliber? It was number 2 last year. It's number 3 this year, and will always appear in our countdown somewhere. But probably one of the dark horses and quickest movers is the 300 PRC. The 6.5 PRC and the 300 PRC precision rifle cartridges gained a lot of the market for a very, very good reason. If you look at those two calibers ballistically, they both specialize in something that a lot of other calibers could not do 20 or 30 years ago. And that is, They're designed to propel a heavy 4 caliber bullet very, very efficiently downrange. So the design of the caliber, the ballistics, and the new bullet construction lend themselves to those two calibers doing very, very well. And the thing that we found, both of those calibers are popular not only with hunters, but also with long range precision shooters. They meet a lot of needs in both of those areas. And then we, as you guys know, and you're going to learn a little bit later here, we introduced a Ranger 22. First year in a long, long time we've had rimfire, and that little rimfire, that little Ranger accounted for 7% of our sales, and then good old 223 556 was at 6%. What do we see in the future? We've been discussing a little bit some new calibers. I think you're going to see 6mm ARC from us, at least in an AR platform. We have toyed with, discussed a little bit preliminarily, 27 Nosler. There are a few new things that could be on the horizon, and we may see those next year as we do our calibers in review. But it's just been amazing to watch the Creedmoor give up part of its market share to the 6.5 PRC, and the 300 Win give up a lot of its market share and now share popularity with the 300 PRC. So that gives us just kind of a brief overview of the calibers and how they sold for us in 2020. One of the first firearms we're going to talk about is our Golden Bullseye award-winning rifle, the Modern Precision Rifle. The Modern Precision Rifle, as we mentioned, was selected nationally as the Golden Bullseye Award winner. And a lot of the features that led to that rifle being selected were the design features that we came up with as we started to produce the rifle. In its engineering phase, there was a lot of things we wanted it to do, and two of them were we wanted to be kind of a crossover rifle that would have application as a hunting rifle and also application as a long-range precision rifle. The folding stock lends itself to being carried in a backpack. The stock folds to the bolt knob, so it gives you a nice smooth side to slide down in a backpack if you decide to put it in your backpack and carry it. Obviously, it's fed from a box magazine. It's held together, by the way, with a rare earth magnet, so it's very simple and very quick to unfold. It's adjustable for both hunting and long-range shooters, but especially the long-range shooters will appreciate this. It's adjustable for cheek rise and length of pull. It's as simple as those two little Allen head set screws. You loosen them, adjust your cheek rise and your length of pull. It's a serrated fastener, not a friction fastener. So it's very, very positive in the way that adjustment will lock. It's got a pistol grip, simple AR pistol grip, which lends itself to good, accurate long-range shooting, fed from a standard box magazine. And by the way, when we put a magazine in a long action, you'll notice a lot of our long action magazine selections include the CIP length magazines, not the standard. And so for a lot of those calibers, the magazine we use actually is the CIP length, which gives you a little additional length there. We send it out with an optics rail mounted to it. It's got our hand-laid carbon fiber hand guard on it, M-lock openings on the side. There are even some bipod manufacturers now that make a bipod that's a two-piece bipod, and you mount one side on each of the opposing M-lock openings and allows you to attach that bipod right to the side of this handguard. But we do include a 4-inch accessory rail with the provision still of a sling stud. If you mount a sling to the front of the rifle, then the question always is, how do I mount a sling to the back of the rifle? And that's a good question. You'll notice if you look at this, there are 5 QD flush cups machined into the aluminum tail of the rifle. The buttstock has provisions, multiple provisions, for a place to put a QD sling mount in there. The other thing we've done with the rifle, especially for the long-range enthusiasts, we've included a little place right here, a provision for a 1-inch monopod rail. It's proprietary. Nobody else's rail will fit that, but ours. We sell that on our website, and so you can buy that one little 1-inch monopod rail right off of our website, mount it to the tail of your MPR, and have the ability to put a bag slider or to put a monopod on the back of that rifle. It does ship too, obviously, with our side port brake. These side port brakes, and we understand a lot of people are going to suppress that rifle. Those side port brakes are put on with an aluminum crush washer. Some of the brakes will be very, very tight and others not so tight. The brakes are removable. We get that question a lot. And the easiest way to remove that brake, should you decide to suppress or even clean the rifle, put a 15/16 deep socket over it and turn it off. so standard threads. So the modern precision rifle, full of features. We get a ton of positive comments on them all the time, and we feel like it's been a very, very good addition to the lineup. This is part of the new and innovative thinking that we were talking about, and this is ongoing for us at Christensen Arms. So that's the MPR. I was going to mention too, we offer it in a steel barrel version and a carbon barrel version. The steel barrel version is a little bit less money. So if price point's a concern, look at the MPR in the steel barrel version, or obviously a lot of our offerings in carbon barrel as well. So 2 different barrel types you can use. So next, we're going to discuss a little bit about some of the expansion that we're going to do. New products, like I said, for any relevant gun company are always a concern. We're always thinking about that. If you're not forward thinking, your competitors are, and then you're behind. A couple of things we're looking at as far as new products are, we are considering and have started design and development on a modern precision pistol. The modern precision pistol will be based loosely on the chassis rifle that we just looked at. The modern precision pistol will look similar to our MPR, just in a lot shorter form. Calibers and barrel lengths are still a little bit up for discussion, but that is one thing that we're looking at. So preliminarily, that's a possibility. The other thing we're looking at is a modern sporting pistol. Many of you have seen, and we're going to show today, the CA9mm. There's a tremendous surge in interest in a modern sporting rifle and modern sporting pistols, and even a little bit of legal wrangling about what the definition of a modern sporting pistol or a short-barreled rifle. So we won't get into the politics of it, except to say that we are considering a new modern sporting pistol in 2 or 3 different calibers in barrel lengths of 7.5 and 10.5 inches. So those are the things that we're kind of looking at down the road. The other thing we've considered, and a lot of you know this already, as we look at our little Ranger 22 and the success that that rifle's had, we are considering 2 new calibers in that. We are considering 17 HMR and 22 Magnum. So those are things kind of on the back burner. Those are projects that we're working on actively, and you can expect to see those and maybe even a few others that we haven't talked about yet coming down the road. The next rifle we would like to discuss with you briefly is our new CA556. We are really excited about that rifle. The CA556 gives us an entry into the modern sporting rifle category that's grown in popularity tremendously at a much lower price point. Many of you are aware that our ARs, that is our CA15s and our CA10s, are not the least expensive rifle in the rack. They tend to end on the higher price points of the rifles offered in the rack. The CA556 is our entry-level price point for a 5.56 or a 15 framed rifle. And we feel like it's a pretty special rifle in that we started off with a stainless 3-prong flash hider. We've got, I hope you guys can see this, we've got a hybrid handguard on that rifle. It's a combination of aluminum and then 4 carbon fiber panels, 2 panels on each side of the rifle, which has been tremendous as far as customer appeal and functionality. The rifle is built on a forged upper and a lower. Those are forged aluminum. The bolt carrier group is machined by the factory. We don't go outside for that. It's got a mission first tactical minimalist folding buttstock on it, and it feeds obviously from just a standard CA556 magazine. The trigger is a match trigger. It's not anything real special, but it has worked really well in this rifle. Just to give you guys an idea of how this rifle is held up, even though it's a new release, one of the first things we did with this rifle was to give it to our competitive shooting team. A couple of our competitive shooters who literally shoot tens of thousands of rounds in a season have had this rifle now long enough to know that it is absolutely going to do the job. We've got one of our shooters that has 10 or 20,000 rounds through the rifle, and he continues to make positive remarks about how accurate it is and how well it functions, how well it feeds and extracts and ejects. The other key to this rifle is, and this will mean a lot to a lot of our customers, behind this handguard is a good old-fashioned Christensen carbon-wrapped 223 wild chambered barrel. So the barrel in this lower price point gun is actually the same barrel that we use on our more expensive rifles. So as far as a modern sporting rifle value goes, we feel like the little CA556 is going to really do well for us. It's probably one of the most requested, and they want availability on it of all the rifles we're doing right now because of what's going on in the marketplace. So tremendously popular. And we're doing our best, as always, to try and get these out. This rifle, we're showing it today in a burnt bronze color, but we also offer it in traditional black, and then the tungsten color. And I'm just going to interject a little bit of personality here. In my opinion, the tungsten color goes very well with the carbon fiber texture of a lot of our accessories. And if you're as pretty as I am and you have fashion sense like I do, those colors and the matching is very important, even for gun guys. So that's the CA556. In addition to that, we've offered this year a new rifle, the CA9mm. The CA9mm is offered in 3 different varieties, 3 different versions. We've got a 9mm as the caliber. We've got a short-barreled rifle. The short-barreled version of it, that is 7.5-inch barrel. We offer a 10.5-inch barrel, and then we offer a full-sized pistol caliber carbine, our PCC. All 3 of those are available again in the 3 colors: tungsten, burnt bronze, and black. It has the same 3-prong flash hider as the 5.56. The hand guard is all aluminum. It's key mod openings there. One of the neat features about this rifle is it shoots with a Glock magazine. Now, one of the questions we get all the time, and it's a valid question, we would want our customers to know this. The magazine that this rifle functions with is typically a Generation 4 Glock magazine and later. Some of the earlier Glock magazines do not have the two indentations, the 2 grooves cut in the front of the magazine, therefore will not work with our firearm. So if you're considering one of these CA9MMs, be aware you need a Glock Generation 4 magazine or newer to go in the rifle. One of the questions we get too, and it's asked all the time, does the rifle lock open on an empty magazine? And yes, it does. In fact, I'm about to demonstrate that to you. Hang on. What? Oh, so my producers are telling me if we do a desk pop in here, our highly sensitive microphones can't handle that. So I guess we won't shoot that, but it will lock back on an open magazine. As you can see, it's locked open and closed. There are those versions of this firearm that do not lock open on an empty. So this one does. This has been tremendously popular. And as a side note, we offer this in every state that it's legal. And so California probably won't see these in most stores, but our pistol caliber carbine, the CA9mm PCC, we do offer that in a California compliant version. We've got a few of them out there. Another cautionary statement we would make about the CA9mm and even the 5.56, we are producing these at the maximum capacity that we can. We are constantly have inquiries about how quickly can I get one? Is there one on a store shelf somewhere? We're all aware of what an unusual firearms market we're in, and therefore we can't guarantee rapid delivery, and we can't guarantee they're in stock at every store. So if you've got an interest and you're willing to do the work and be patient, chances are we can get one of these rifles to you. So and this little rifle starts, the MSRP on this rifle is $14.95. When this was brand new, I had not been exposed to a lot of the 9mm MSR platform rifles. And one of the local ranges here has a 10-plate resettable rack of plates, steel plates. And so my first experience with one of these little guns was a couple of 100 rounds and a couple of magazines and a 10-plate resettable rack. And I was a believer at the end of that. That's just a ton of fun. If you like trigger therapy and recreational shooting, you're not ever going to hit steel at 1,000 yards, obviously, but what a fun way to spend an afternoon, especially with the family. So that's our CA9mm. And again, all 3 colors: tungsten, burnt bronze, and black. And finally today, the last rifle we'd like to talk to you about is the people around the factory call it our beloved Ranger 22. The Ranger 22 is another one of our original and proprietary firearms that we've offered. We've had it out now for a few months. It's been a ton of fun to roll out to you. And this is a little rifle that on every single day, we receive positive feedback about how fun this little rifle is. Some of the things that are very unusual and they're good marketing points for this rifle are it's got a fairly tactical stock. In fact, a lot of shooters have bought this Ranger 22 and they use it as a training rifle. The design of the stock lends itself to long-range precision shooting, much like a grown-up rifle would. It has the provision to use any Remington 700 trigger. So there's a Trigger Tech trigger in there now, and it will take any Remington 700 trigger. So should you decide to upgrade the trigger, as you know, there are literally a dozen really, really great choices on the market as a Remington 700 trigger. Should you decide to upgrade your Remington trigger, realize that you do not need the integral bolt release in that Remington 700 trigger. Remington 700 triggers typically will have a bolt release integral to the housing of the trigger, and you don't need that because we've got an improved bolt release on the side of the receiver. So you can buy a Remington 700 trigger without the bolt release, and it'll fit right in this rifle. Simple, easy change. The other thing our engineers wanted to do when they designed the rifle was how to feed reliably, and so we went with the standard decades proven Ruger 1022 magazine. That little rotary magazine is available in a lot of different formats. It will ship with a standard Ruger 1022 magazine, which has got to be one of the most popular rimfire magazines there is in the world right now. So in addition to the composite stock, we've got this barrel. Our barrel is very, very unique. And one thing about it is threaded, half 28, it is suppressor ready. And I have been amazed at the number of customers, before they even sight their rifle in, install a suppressor. A lot of the customers that buy this rifle intend originally to suppress the rifle. But what's neat about the barrel is it's actually not a carbon wrapped barrel like a lot of our previous rifles are. A lot of our previous rifles, center fire rifles we've talked about earlier, the Ridgeline, the Traverse, the Summit, those are 416R stainless barrels that are proprietarily contoured. That is, material is removed from them, and then multiple layers of aero-grade carbon fiber are applied directly to the stainless steel liner. The Ranger 22 is different. It's a carbon tension barrel. And what we mean by that is the barrel is manufactured, it's contoured, and then over that steel liner goes a carbon fiber over casement. So it's a carbon fiber tube over the steel liner. The carbon fiber tube butts up against the rifle here, and then this nut in between the thread protector and the carbon fiber over casement is our tensioning nut. And as we tighten that nut, it draws the carbon fiber is rigid, and it draws that stainless steel liner tight inside the carbon fiber over casement, tensioning that barrel. We are able to offer a sub MOA guarantee at 50 yards on this Ranger rifle. One of the things we've quickly learned is the rifle needs, especially on a rimfire, you need to use really, really good quality ammunition to get the best performance out of the rifle. At a rimfire level, there's a great deal of variation in consistency in ammunition, and we would highly recommend, should you decide to shoot this for accuracy, use the very, very best you can. If you have a question about what some of those are that work well for us, just give us a call at the factory and we'll be glad to get a list to you. So that's our little Ranger 22. And again, just by way of information, probably within the next 12 months or so, you'll hear us talk about maybe a couple of additional calibers in this little rimfire format right here. So we are listening to our customers. We would like to do what you would like us to do within parameters. Keep in mind, we're still a business and we have people that we have stockholders we have to take care of. And some things just are out of our realm of possibility, but we're very sensitive to our customers. We understand, just like with this event today, that without our customers, we don't have a gun company. And we value our customers to a great degree and appreciate everything you guys have done to make the growth possible for us. So with that, we'll go to a few questions now. Hopefully, if you had a question, you've had a chance to submit it. We'll go to the first one. What is the most popular hunting rifle and caliber you make, and how much does it weigh? Great question. And it's funny how hunters are always wondering how much does the rifle weigh. One of the advantages of a Christensen Arms hunting rifle is the composite stock and the carbon wrap barrel both lend themselves to being fairly lightweight. The most popular model that we sell by far is our Ridgeline rifle. The Ridgeline rifle is our entry-level carbon wrapped barrel hunting rifle. It's built on our standard sporter stock, and in my opinion, the Ridgeline rifle is one of the very best returns on investment of anything that we could actually sell. It's a really, really good value. A lot of our customers have noticed that. And so that's one of the most popular rifles that we sell, especially if the intended purpose is a hunting rifle. So we would recommend that. You also should consider, and we would never say anything against our little Mesa rifle. That little Mesa rifle as a steel barreled rifle has been very, very successful. I'm aware of a few families by myself that have nothing but Mesa rifles as hunting rifles in their entire household. And so the Mesa, the Ridgeline, and the Traverse would probably be the best choices with a hunting rifle. Calibers would include probably 6.5 Creedmoor. Let's not count out the old 308, 6.5 PRC. Certainly, a lot of the new 6.5 PRC owners are taking that rifle, both long range precision shooting and hunting. If you look at the ballistics, all of those would do a very, very good job with a well-placed shot and a well-constructed hunting bullet in most medium to small North American big game species. So, and there's a lot of crossover. You know, it's like I mentioned before, the modern precision rifle is used in a lot of applications as a hunting rifle too. The bottom line is always this: buy what's comfortable to you, buy what you feel would be the best match for you. So, but certainly those would be the recommended ones we have. Daryl Stevens is wondering, I'm not a hunter, just a target shooter. I would never minimize the target shooter, Daryl. For our part, we value a customer regardless of what they're using our guns for. And when I'm not hunting, I'm a target shooter too, Daryl. So both you and I are target shooters. And Daryl says, but I love quality rifles. What rifle and caliber would you recommend for shooting out at 400 out to 1,000 yards? Great question. And Daryl, you're probably one of the fastest growing demographics for us as a company. We have always been a hunting rifle company, and that's how we started was with hunting rifles. But obviously, based on the lineup we've shared with you, we're very concerned and looking very much forward to be involved in the long range precision game. The MPR would certainly be a consideration for you. Very lightweight. It's fully adjustable for cheek rise and length of pull. That is, you can mount an optic on it depending on your choice of optics, and it gives you the latitude to adjust cheek rise and length of pull, custom tailor that rifle to you. It ships with a side port brake. A side port brake is important because if you're on the ground with a radial brake and the pressure, the concussion of the shot is distributed 360 degrees, you're going to have dust and debris kick up in front of you, and that's not always ideal in a long range situation. So the side port brake is important, and the MPR does have that. So the adjustability fed from a magazine and the side port brake would lend that to be a long range precision shooting rifle. I would also consider at a little bit higher price point the ELR and the BA Tactical. Those are kind of cousins. The ELR was designed as kind of a quasi crossover, a long range precision rifle during the summer and a carry on your back hunting rifle in the fall. I own and shoot a few of those, and they're some of my favorite rifles I own. So in addition to that, the BA Tactical is a little more specialized into the long range precision shooting. Both the ELR and the BA Tactical are at the same price point. And calibers, there's almost a dozen or so that would work very well for you. I would look at 6 Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308 again. I'm gonna bang the 308 drum since it didn't appear on our caliber list. I'm old school, and I have a soft place in my heart for the old 308 Win. So there's a lot of calibers that would do very, very well for you. A lot of the really serious precision long range guys are going with a heavier caliber, like a 300 Win Mag or a 300 PRC. So that gives you a few ideas for just a target shooter. Richard Shoemaker just purchased my third rifle, Ridgeline MPR, and now a Ranger. More to come. With success come challenges. How has Christensen Arms evolved to ensure quality and customer support in the mass production market, and how will it continue to address these two aspects as it continues to grow? As I mentioned, and that's an excellent question, Richard, and that's one that we ask ourselves on a daily basis. I started 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I could have my choice of literally dozens and dozens of parking spots in the front of the factory. Now, if you're here at 8:05, you have to walk a half a block to get to the factory. We have doubled the size of the company a few years in a row. And with all of that, as you know, come the challenges. When you're making many, many more firearms every day than you did a year or two ago, you have to be very, very cautious, and you have to be aware of how that impacts the quality of the rifles leaving the building. I can tell you this for sure. From the president of the company on down to the ladies that ship the guns at the end of the day, quality is always a concern. Are we perfect? Jeff will be the first one to tell you we're not. But what we are is a small company still concerned with customer support and customer satisfaction. In my opinion, I have even seen cases where the quality assurance matched with the consistent quality emphasis on the line has stopped a firearm from leaving our building. Our final QA folks have actually recognized something, a quality or something about a rifle. If they were going to buy that rifle, that would be a problem, an issue for them. So they stop that and they bring it back and they rework it, and that rifle does not leave the factory. The other thing that we've done and continue to do, and I'm very involved with this on a daily basis, is be sensitive to customers with issues. As we've grown, obviously the demographic has grown. When you're shipping thousands of guns every month, the potential for one of those rifles to be less than perfect is there, and we recognize that. So we're working harder than we ever have. We've just expanded our customer service team. We've automated the customer service department. We have added the number of repair technicians in the factory. So as that demographic has expanded for us and grown as a company, we've been sensitive to that, and we're doing our best every single day to meet the expectation of our customers. I would tell you this: if we ever fall short in anybody's eyes as far as customer support, please let us know, and we will do our very best to make that right with you. That's hugely important to us. It's priority number one for a lot of us. He just moved. Tom Steffler, have you guys ever thought about building defense shotguns? That's an excellent question, Tom. And I'll tell you this: there's nothing in the firearms industry that we haven't thought of. In fact, a lot of times at lunch, we'll sit around and say, what if? And wouldn't it be great if? We've talked about a lot of different things. We've talked about black powder, defense shotguns, a lot of things in the firearms industry that are a little bit on the fringe. And for us, it comes down to a very, very simple formula. As a company, we want to succeed. And there are aspects of firearms that we could build. We have the technology, the machines, and the people that we could do it. But due to the lack of customer and dealer demand, the juice is just not worth the squeeze. There are some things by virtue of the market that they would appeal to that we're probably just not ever going to do. And defense shotguns is one of them. Just like a lot of other companies that make defensive shotguns will probably never consider making a carbon barreled, hand laid aero grade carbon fiber hunting rifle. So we've kind of found our niche in the market, Tom. We feel like we've got a pretty good handle on what it is, and we're going to kind of stay in our firing lane. So we've thought about it, yes, but we probably won't have that a shot next year. So Paul Hankey, which AR or MPR platforms, what future advances do you think we would like to see incorporated? Optics, suppressors, add-ons, toys, rails, etc. Oh, excluding those things. So there are a few things that we can do. The modern sporting rifle, there are some things in the MPR, like I mentioned, there are a few things that we can do there. In the AR platform, obviously, we're talking about maybe doing a small version of a modern sporting pistol. And in the MPR platform, we've discussed one option. A lot of our customers are asking for shorter barrel lengths. We're seeing a demand for barrels that are shorter in overall length than the original barrels that we offered on the MPR. So we're considering that. And in addition to that, as we hinted to, I think you're going to see something from us in a modern sporting pistol to kind of complement the modern precision rifle. You'll see a modern precision pistol. So give us a few weeks, few months. We're working on that. We're not going to show you everything on our first Brand Live event. We got to save something for the future, and that's what we're doing. So there's your teaser. JT Santabul, I've been trying to get my hands on a CA10 DMR, but everything is back ordered. When will CA be releasing more of these guns to dealers? Simple question. And almost all of you watching this will realize, like we've mentioned earlier, This is a very, very non-typical firearms market. I can't go to Sportsman's Warehouse or Cabela's or Shields and buy 1,000 small rifle primers, 2 pounds of Retumbo, and some Hornady bullets. The market is very, very non-typical right now. Nothing is normal. The answer to your question is this: we're making CA10 DMRs every day. There's kind of a formula at Christensen Arms. We make X amount of modern precision rifles every day. We make X amount of Ranger 22s every day. We make X amount of all of the different models that we offer, even our very expensive Summit rifles, our TFM and our Summit TI and Summit TI-TH. There's a section of pie, a slice of pie assigned to every model that we make every day, the CA10 DMRs being one of them. And so every day we manufacture a certain number of those, and they're out to dealers. Every single gun that we make on any given day is tied to an existing sales order. And so one of the frustrations shared to us by customers, I went to the store and there's not the exact rifle that I want sitting on the shelf. We're sensitive to that. We wish that were the case. There's a few different ways to get a rifle from us. You can go to a dealer that's an authorized dealer with us. If they're willing to place the order for you, we'll build any rifle we make and send it right to them. We have distributors. Lipsey's, Davidson's, and Xander's carry our firearms. So you may be able to go and find a rifle there. So the answer to your question is, we are working very, very hard, not only for CA10 DMRs, but everything we make. We're even got our guys coming in a lot of times on Saturdays and Sundays to help out. The barrel guys have overtime like you can't believe. We're doing our best, just like the ammunition manufacturers are and the powder manufacturers, to satisfy the unusually high customer demand. But there are more orders for a firearm than we have firearms right now. So if you're Christensen Arms, great. But if you're a customer, that translates into a longer lead time than we wish you had to deal with. But rest assured, we're doing our very, very best to get caught up. Next question. When is the 2021 SKU list going to be available? Good question. It's almost finalized. The ink's not dry on it yet, and we're going to wait and release the 2021 list of new models when we know the list is complete and we can deliver what we've got on there. And so it's still a little preliminary for us. COVID and everything that's going on has changed our timetable a little bit, but we're working on that every day, and we'll get it out just as quickly as we can to our customers and our dealers. Watch our website. If you guys really want to know what's going on at Christensen Arms, subscribe to our informative emails. As you go to our website and get on our emailing list, we're doing a better job than we ever have before at informing the customers that want to know what's current with us through our emails. The emails will absolutely be the quickest and most direct way for us to reach you if there's any changes or new products coming out. And sometimes it's even fun stuff like giveaways. We've got some very, very creative marketing folks now. There was a day when we didn't even give away a hat, and now we give away stuff all the time. So the only disadvantage I have of that is I'm not eligible for it. I was one of the first 10 to register for this Brand Live event, and I'm not going to get a swag bag. So you guys that got the swag bags, be thinking of me when you open that bag, okay? Next question. Kent Brown, are the PRC bullets hard to find? Are they expensive versus the non-PRC cartridges? Interesting question, Ken, and one that a lot of people want to know about. The 6.5 PRC and the 300 PRC are new releases by Jason and Steve Hornady. A lot of research went into that. They are brand new. And just like with any other brand new release, there's not a lot of secondary ammunition market out there for them. For the initial release of those two calibers, the ammunition that will be available will be pretty much limited to the company that brought those calibers out. It is a little bit expensive and it is a little bit hard to find. Absolutely. You'll be easier to find 300 Win Mag than it will be 300 PRC, but it is coming. And the other thing about those two calibers, like we discussed earlier, those two calibers are not going anywhere. And even though it's a challenge today to find that ammunition, it is going to get better and better as time goes on. There will be a lot more companies making it. So, and the calibers are worth it. So, will you be expanding and more coding and coloring options? Somebody's been listening to our engineering meetings here. It would almost look like this is one of the most exciting things at Christensen Arms right now. I've mentioned a lot of new people in our marketing department, and we are getting some really, really strong marketing personalities from other places in the industry. The answer to your question, Cooper, is absolutely. And wait until you see what we have coming. In the past, we've been pretty much limited by a standard color with some webbing on it. We've had a lot of hydrographic dips that we've done. Some of those hydrographic dips, by nature of that process, do not handle abrasion real well, and some of them have faded. That's a less than perfect option for having a different color on your stock. One of the most exciting things that we have to announce in 2021 will be exactly that, expanding colors and stuff as far as our stocks go. In addition to that, I will say this briefly. The Ridgeline stock has been a standard sporter stock for a very, very long time. We understand that stock might be a little dated for some of our dealers and customers. We're working on a brand new concept for a stock like that. So a lot of really exciting stuff. And that's why we're probably going to have more than one Brand Live event as 2021 goes on. So great questions, all of those. Any plans on expanding the calibers and the AR-1510 platform, longer barreled ARs? Absolutely. We started to offer this year some 24-inch barrels in a few of the calibers. And as far as new calibers from the AR-15 platform, I can tell you one of the things we're actively working on right now, and many of you are aware of this caliber already, the new 6mm ARC, the 6mm Advanced Rifle Cartridge. What a great little fun. We talk about being trigger therapy and recreational shooters. What a great little caliber for that. It's a new release, and so there's not a ton of ammunition out there for it yet. It's going to be a challenge to find even dies and powder for that caliber, but it has got a ton of ballistic potential. There's going to be a definite place for it in the market, and we are looking at an AR platform rifle chambered in some new calibers, one of which will probably be the 6mm ARC. Are you guys continuing making your 1911s? Are you focusing mainly on the rifles in your catalog? And we get that question a lot here because based on our previous 1911 manufacturing, we have a lot of 1911 owners out there that love our guns to the point that they want some more. The 1911 section of what we produce here has unfortunately taken a back seat, as we mentioned, to the rapid and just unanticipated growth in bolt gun and AR production. And so parts of the 1911 production have been temporarily suspended, but we are coming back. And when we come back, you're going to really like this new CA 1911. I've had a chance to hold them, and the thing that struck me about our new 1911, as you work the slide and shoot the gun, it just felt like a more expensive gun than we're going to ask for it. It's just a great value in the 1911 market, which is pretty full anyway. But we're going to have some really cool 1911 stuff coming. So thanks for asking that question. We're aware of that. It is part of our heritage. We've got a lot of 1911 owners out there, and we are not going away from them completely. You'll see some 1911s from Christensen Arms soon. So we're going to start to wrap up Brand Live. We can't stay on here forever. At my age, I'm going to need a bathroom break here pretty soon anyway. So, but we've been very grateful to share this time with you. You need to know that this is designed to be a benefit to our customers. I'm not bored in the office. I don't do this because I got bored. We would love to communicate with you. We want to extend to you our appreciation and let you know that without you as customers, we don't grow as a company. We just appreciate everything you do for us. We're here to serve you and help you. And we look forward to a few more Brand Live events. We're going to always have them try and be relevant. We're going to try and work in maybe a few giveaways with them. And we're going to do our best to be a current, relevant, and a company that informs our customers and dealers as to what we're up to as a company. So you can stay up to date with us by getting on our website and registering for emails as we send them out. On social, you can follow us on most social platforms. We are social at Christensen Arms. And if you register for emails, you're going to be given a chance to participate in some of our gifts and some of the giveaways that we do. So again, everybody, thank you again for being here. We hope you'll stay with us. If you see fit, go to the Brand Live event and give us a happy hands or a smiley face or something. The marketing folks even talked about anyone who gives us positive affirmation, they may randomly select some of those individuals and just send them something fun. So we look forward to doing these in the future. Thank you again for being here with us today. Again, I'm Jeff Bradley with Christensen Arms. And as a closing statement, we would just like to mention to you, please shoot straight, shoot safely, and shoot responsibly. Let's take care of the sport that we love. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.